is the Green Geezer, showing you the fine art of negotiating. Always, first thing you want to do is go to your friend's tavern, buy the extra turn. Definitely worth the 1500 coin. You're going to get to the point anyways that your tavern is fully upgraded, nothing to do with the coin. Here's where you use it. You want to go to extra turn, pay the 15 to activate it. Should give you more than enough time to do the 8 turns you have up there. Start with the first one. 6 choice, fairly easy. Always put up the 4 goods, doesn't matter what order, and then throw up the coin or the supply. We're going to throw up the supply on the first turn. Okay, we've eliminated 3. We know that the supplies go there and the possibility of another magnet. 3 choices left, 3 turns left. Rule of 3, always when you have 3 turns and 3 choices, take the coin first, put the coins all the way across, negotiate. Second time around, we're going to put all the supplies in. We never want to save the goods till last if you have them. If you have a couple goods to pick from, pick the one you have the largest amount of and save the smallest amount for last. Since this already has a supply, we know it's automatically a magnet. And your remaining choice is the magnet. Okay, 7 choice, not too much harder than the 6. What you want to do is put in your 5 goods, leave the coin and the supplies for the second turn. Okay, we've eliminated 3, that's always good. Want to put the coins and supplies in, you didn't do the first time. And we have plenty of robots, so we're going to put robots in. And we'll put another coin, because we didn't have that on the first. We'll take a chance there's more than one. We don't care about the renewable resources, we'll get to those later. Okay, so we know the robot, renewable sources, and supplies. So we're going to put supplies in 2 other spots, and we're going to put robots in 2 spots. We're going to change that so we can put the supplies over here. We don't care about the renewable resources, we'll get to that on our final turn. Okay, we know wrong person right off, so we know this goes here. You have no choice but to use your renewable resources that we've been waiting for, and that'll give it to us. Okay, now we're back to a 6 again. Like I said, fairly simple. Put up your 4 goods, and coin the supplies. We'll go with coin this time. Doesn't really matter which one you pick. Okay, we've eliminated 3, so we have the rule of 3 again. Since we have a coin up there, what we're going to do is we're going to throw supplies up. Doesn't really matter if you start with your supplies or coins. What I like to do is whatever is up there, I'll go opposite of it. If there was a coin and supply, then I would just do the supply all the way across, and where the coin was, I'd put, where the supply was, I would put the coin underneath that. But as always, rule of 3. 3 turns left, 3 choices. You want to go all the way across the board. So now we're going to go with the coin. Naturally, we already have the coin there, so we know it's a filter. And whatever's left is going to be your filter. Only choice left. Okay, back to another 6 choice. Once again, fairly easy. And we'll put up supplies this time. Okay, we have 3 of the answers up there. We want to use the coin we didn't use the first time. Supplies are cheap, so we're going to put 2 supplies in. And we have much more plastic than filters, so we're going to put the plastic in twice. So we have the 2 supplies, which we know are there, the 2 plastic, which we know is there. We'll hold off on the filters. Always like to hold off at least 1 or 2 goods and save those for the last. Okay, so we know the plastic goes in one of these 2 positions. And we're down to our final choices. So we know that those 2 are correct. And we have 2 turns, so we know it's one or the other. We're going to go with the higher good. And if it hadn't given us the choice, we still had 1 turn left to pick the filter, which would have been the last choice. Okay, back to the 7 choice. As always, we want to put the 5 goods up. We'll save the coin and the supplies for the next turn. Okay, we've eliminated 2 left, and possibility of the steal. So we want to put up our coin and supply, which we haven't used yet. We're going to put up the steal just to make sure it hasn't been chosen yet. And we're down to magnets or gas, so we're going to put magnets, which we can't put here, so we'll just change this to magnets. So we have our first 2 choices in that we didn't use the first time. We want the steel, which has already been used. We want to make sure it's not used twice. And then out of the 2 goods, we're going to go with the magnet. We can hold off on the gas. Okay, so we basically have our answers right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to eliminate everything. So we know it's not those 2. We don't want to use the gas yet, so we're going to pass on the gas. No pun intended. We're going to put the magnet. We're going to put the supply. And just for good measure, we're going to put the supply twice, which will help us eliminate. But we're still saving that gas till the last. And we have 1 answer left, and we already know it's the gas because we haven't used it. Okay, now we have an 8 choice to deal with. Always want to get your goods up first, so we're going to put up 5 of the goods. Doesn't matter which 5. I like to keep them in order, makes it a little simpler. Okay, 3 eliminated. We want to use the robot, the coin, and supplies, which we didn't use the first time. Now we have 5 choices to choose from, so what we want to do is put up the magnet, which we know is correct. And we're going to hold off on the filters because the filters were low on. So what we want to do is put in the second choice. So we're going to put in the magnet twice because we have plenty of those. It'll help us to eliminate. And we have the 3 choices that we didn't use the first time. We'll hold off on the filters to the end. Okay, we still know the magnet goes here. With the 3 choice left, we're going to put the 2 magnets up. 1 coin, which we know there's another coin, possibly. And we're going to put up 2 coins because we already know the filter's the last one. And that should tell us where they're going to go. Okay, we know it's a wrong person, so we know the coin goes here. And since it's the coin and filter, and the coin has already been used in this slot, and we hadn't used the filter yet, we know the filter definitely goes there, and that's our solution. And we have a relic, probably a silver as usual, and it'll be junk. Yep. Okay, back to negotiating. Okay, we have a 7 choice. As always, all your goods up. Save the coin and supplies for your next turn. Okay, we have 2 correct. We want to get the coins and supplies up. And we know the plastic's being used, but there's a possibility the steel or magnet is also being used twice. Since we're very low on steel, we're going to put the magnet up. Okay, we already know it's the magnet, the coin, and the plastic. So what we're going to do, we have 2 turns left. We want to eliminate it, so we want to make sure there's 2 different ones on each one. That way, if we get it wrong on this turn, it's going to be very easy to solve the rest. Okay, we get the wrong persons. Same 3. We have the plastic, which is already over here, so we know the plastic goes there. The coin can't stay in the same spot, so that tells you the coin automatically goes there. The last remaining choice would be your magnet. Okay, another 7 choice. Get your goods up there. We're low on filters, so if that is one of the choices, we're going to hold off on that to the end because that's our lowest good. And it doesn't matter because it was eliminated. 4 eliminated, that's what we like to see. Back to the 3 choice. Rule of 3, 3 turns left, 3 choices left, all the way across with one of them. I like to use if the coins and supplies are my options, I like to do coins then supplies. Or supplies then coins, whatever you feel comfortable with. So our second turn, we put in all our supplies. And our final turn will be any bionic data. And just like negotiating a 3 turn right off the start, you always want to put in all 5 of one, all 5 of another, and then your final turn. So you basically don't even need the extra turn negotiating a 3. Okay, we have an 8 choice here. As always, 5 goods. We'll save the robots, the coin, and supplies for the next turn. Okay, 4 eliminated. That's always nice to see. We don't have the rule of 3. So what we want to do is use the 3 we didn't use the first time. And since we have 1 correct, we always want to try to use that. And that'll help us eliminate if there is a second one. Okay, 2 more incorrect. So we're down to 2 with 2 choices. Rule of 2 just as the rule of 3. Put all of 1 across because you know if any of those are wrong, you know this one's automatically correct. But if these 2 are wrong, there's only going to be 1 choice left for you to use anyways. Similar to the rule of 3, rule of 2. 2 goods left, put 1 all the way across, and you'll never fail. Okay, 9 choice, one of the tougher ones to use. We don't have the filters involved and we're pretty set on goods. So we're going to put the top 5 right across. I like to do that only because it makes things much easier to keep track of what you've done. You don't have to go back and really search what you've done so far. Okay, second turn, we already have 4 of the choices up there, but we want to run through the ones we didn't put up the first time. And since we have so many goods to deal with, we're going to put up 1 of the goods. And since we have a lot of magnets, we're going to put up a magnet. That way at least we're eliminating the first 4 that we didn't get the first time. Okay, we've already got all 5 of our answers. The genome data, the semiconductors, the supplies, magnet, and bionic data. So since we have 2 magnets in place and a lot of them, we're going to try to eliminate what we can on this turn. So we're going to go 2 supplies, 2 magnets, and that leaves us 3 other choices. We're in a tough position, but we're hoping we get lucky on this turn. Okay, so we know the magnets definitely go here because you have magnets in all the other spots. The genome data could possibly go here or here. We're going to stick it over here. I'm going to try the semiconductors over here because you can't go with the bionics data, and we're going to try the bionics data right here. Just make sure that you're not making a selection that's already been made in that slot. And we'll hope for the best. If not, we'll come back and try again. See, we got lucky. If I hadn't gotten it, I wouldn't pay the 10 diamonds. I never pay diamonds, always come back and try it again. Some people will pay the diamonds if they're on a castle, which is one of the more difficult negotiations. I don't see a problem with that, but if you have the extra attempts, then it's not really worth it. You always come back and try again. Alright, now we have an 8 choice. As always, 5 goods. Oh, hold on, we're down to 3 turns, so we need to go out and get another extra turn. Normally you can do the 8 within the 15 minutes, but when you keep getting extra attempts, it takes up a lot more of the time. But for 1500 coin, go back out, buy yourself another one. Okay, back to negotiating. Okay, we have an 8 choice, as always, 5 goods. You always want to get 5 goods on your first turn if they're available. 4 gone, that's what we always like to see. We're down to 4, we're going to put our 3 choices up there. And since we have one of those, we're going to put that up. And we're going to throw in either an extra coin or supply. Doesn't really matter which one you throw. Okay, narrowed it down a little bit more. We're down to 3 choices. We know the semiconductors don't go there, so we're going to try putting the semiconductor there. We have a lot of robots, so we're going to put 2 robots in, and we're going to put a coin over here. Now the key to this one is trying to get 2 of everything when you're down to 3 choices. That'll help you eliminate these 3. This one may be a problem unless we get one of them knocked out. So that helped us out by coming on here. Now we know semiconductor and coin. So semiconductor here and here, so we know the semiconductor goes here. We're down to no other choice there, but the coin, same thing down here. You got your coin. And that'll give us the solution. And we still have a relic, another silver, probably garbage, of course. Yeah, but we'll always take the goods. Back to negotiating. Okay, another 8 choice. As always, 5 goods. We notice our steel is low, so if steel is one of the choices, we'll pass on that right to the very end to save the goods. It's incorrect anyways. 3 incorrect, that helps us out. We do know the plastics is up, so we want to put the 3 choices we didn't put up the first time and see if there's another plastic. We're not going to worry about the bionics data. We're going to save that right to the end. Okay, we already know our 3 answers now. We know there's supplies, plastics, and bionic data. So, bionic data and supplies are already up there, and we know the 3 choices. Excuse me, that's the plastic. We know the plastic, supplies, and bionics data. Now, you don't know which one is which. So what we're going to do is, we already know the bionics data is there. Instead of wasting a bionics data and finding out it'll be wrong person on your 3rd turn, we're going to put in 2 supplies. We know whichever one of these is wrong is going to be our bionics data. And like I said, bionics data, which is the last one, and that'll give it to us. Okay, now we're up to a 9, one of the more difficult ones. We're low on filters, so we'll keep that in mind. And we'll save, if filters are one of the choices, we save that to the very end. That way we can save on supplies. If it's incorrect, we don't have to worry about it. So we have 3 of the choices here. Now we want to get in the 3 we didn't get the first time, which is the robot, supply, and coin. And we want to make sure there's not a second magnet. We're not going to worry about the 3 choices we know are correct. Like I said, we always want to eliminate as much as possible. Okay, we've eliminated 3 more. So now we know what the final 3 answers are. We know it's renewable resources, bionics data, and gas. Now we still have 2 turns left, so what we want to do is put the 3 choices up. And since we already know what rows they're in, what we're doing here is we still have 1 turn left. We're not sure if this is going to be the correct combination. By putting 1 of everything in there, we know it's only going to give us 1 remaining choice on the final turn. Or sometimes you'll get them right. If not, you would have saw which 2 weren't the correct one, and you choose the last one that was available to you in each spot. Now moving on to the most difficult one of the bunch. We're pretty well set on goods, little low on steel, and we need to be able to finish the negotiation. So what we're going to do is, if the steel is a correct answer, we will hold that off to the end. With the 10, you always want to use the top 5 first. And now you want to use the bottom 5. We're not going to worry about anything until we've eliminated all our choices. So you choose all the bottom 5 row now on your second turn. We already know steel and renewable resources are our choices, and we know coin and plastic are our choices. So now we're down to 4. What we want to do is put coins in 2 of the slots. We're not going to worry about that steel because we're short on that. So we're going to put plastic, which we have a lot of, in 2 spots, and then we'll put the renewable resources in. We're still holding off on the steel as long as possible. Okay, now we have the wrong person. It's going to be a little difficult to figure out, but we should be able to get this. We have plastic, 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 so we're going to try the plastic here. Coins, and we're going to put the coin here also, because we only have 4 choices left, so one of these is being used as double. Steel is here, renewable resources is here. We're going to take our chances on the steel because we only have the 1 turn left. Like I said, if we don't get it, we have extra turns. We'll try it again. Now this is the final castle, but we do have too many choices available. If I try to use the extra turn, there should be 3 other choices still available, which we don't want to waste our time on. If you knew for sure that there was only 1 choice left, you got the option. You could pay the diamonds and choose it. Me, I'm going to go back and try again, but we need to get a little steel first. So we'll see what we can grab on the market. Okay, we don't really need too much. So what we're going to do is, I believe I have enough genome data for that. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to grab a little bit of steel. Don't really care about the forge points. Can always make more. Okay, that should be enough steel to help us with that negotiation. Gonna go back in and finish that one off. And as always, top 5 first. Your first and second turns, you always want to try to eliminate as much as possible. Okay, 3 incorrects, that helps us a lot. So now we're going to put the bottom row on, so we can eliminate those. Doesn't matter what order you put them in, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, we've eliminated quite a few of them. We're down to 3 choices left. No rule of 3 though, because we only have 2 turns left. So we know bionic data and magnets are definite, and there's a possibility there might be plastic. Since we have so many magnets, we're going to put magnets in 3 of them. And we want to put the plastic in to see if there's a second one. Bionics data will hold off. Okay, we know the Bionics data is one of the choices, and that's the only choice you have left, so that makes your job very easy for you. Like I said, you always want to eliminate and get down to the end so that you only have the 1 or 2 choices left to cut down your odds. Look for the rest of my videos. I'll try to post as many of them as possible, showing you the different combinations and outcomes that can happen to you at the different choice levels. But using the extra turn is definitely a plus. I would recommend it always during negotiation, and you can just about guarantee, if you use your brain, be smart, hold back goods, and don't keep putting in different choices, the best way is process of elimination. Try to eliminate as many spaces as you can, and it'll definitely make your job much easier.